Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Happy Cinco de Drinko, everyone. It's time for another Real Film Nerds Podcast. And we are recording on the Mexican holiday that Americans celebrate a heck of a lot more than the Mexicans, even in quarantine. Right, Mike?
Yeah. I saw this post on Facebook. I usually don't say things like this, but this one was really funny. So
wait, hold on. You were actually using Facebook?
Yep, to promote the podcast.
Mark it. Mike actually used the social medias. Amazing.
Yeah, so I was watching that, and a meme came across, and it was talking about, Cinco de Mayo. So Cinco de Mayo is on a Taco Tuesday, and then it's caused by the Mexican beer that we drink during Cinco de Mayo. It's terrible.
Right, yeah. I've been seeing that one going around for a couple months. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry I'm not as social.
Well, it's fine. I'm glad you're upping your social media game. Speaking about social media, but not social media, and Cinco de Drinko, it is my sister's birthday today. So happy birthday, Heather. There you go. There's your shout out. Enjoy your hot slab of beef ribs.
Nice. No Mexican on Cinco de Drinko? I guess it's probably not a good idea, huh?
It's her birthday, man. She gets what she wants. No, if I could, I tried to do it the other day and they closed real early. That's one of the things that screws me up. The restaurant's closing it early. Like they're closing like 6 and 7. I wanted to go to Tito's. You know, didn't I take you to Tito's when you're out here?
I'm sure we went there.
Tito's Tacos. It's my favorite hole-in-the-wall Mexican food place around here. I love it. I like a lot of the Mexican food around here, but Tito's is just something different. And I really, really like it. So speaking of Cinco and Mexican food and all that stuff, Mike, let's just get it out of the way right now because it's important. Go for it. Ask me your favorite question, Mike.
Oh, yes. Cinco de Drinko. Matt, what are you drinking?
Well, Mike, in celebration of Cinco de Drinko, as you pointed out, I have my classic right here. Margarita on the rocks, no salt, with extra tequila.
Nice.
Mike, are you drinking a Mexican beer? Please tell me you're drinking a Mexican beer. Do they have Mexican IPAs? Would it technically be Mexican if it was an IPA, though?
No, I don't know. It's a good question.
You know what, Mike? You got something to research now for the podcast.
So they've made these beers that kind of taste like tequila, not tequila, like a margarita. But I don't think they're an IPA. I'm trying to remember what they called them. It's kind of a weird thing. But anyway, no, man, I'm still drinking an IPA, but it's a really good one and it's new. It's a stone one. It's called Peak Conditions.
It's stoned? How does a beer get stoned?
No, it's Stone Brewery.
Oh,
it's outside out of Escondido, California, and this one's called Peak Conditions. It's a hazy double IPA. It's got added passion fruit, orange, and guava in it. It's nice, man. Look, it's got a cool can. It's pink.
It is pink, and it has a devil's head. Looks like a devil's head.
That's their gargoyle. That's their
their
motto.
gargoyle. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I'm glad I was able to come up with something for you to research. You're going to have to find a Mexican IPA and why they don't exist. Finally, you're going to put in some work on this podcast. I know it's going to be difficult, but I think if anybody can do it, you can.
Yes, my talented taste buds will work hard for you.
Damn, that was a tongue twister, and you got it out. Nice. Love it. All right, so enough about drinking, enough about Cinco, enough about being disappointed in Mike for not drinking something Mexican-related today. Let's get to our movie review. I suggested this one. It was my pick. It is Martin Scorsese's Bringing Out the Dead from 1999, Real Film Nerds episode 169, dude. Mike, give us the rundown.
All right, Matt. Like Matt said, it was directed by Martin Scorsese. written by Joe Connolly and Paul Schrader. It's starring Nicolas Cage, Patricia Arquette, John Goodman, Ving Rhames, Ton Sizemore, and Mark Anthony. So star-studded cast on this one. And this one's about haunted by his patients. He failed to save an extremely burnout Manhattan ambulance paramedic fights to maintain his sanity over 3 fraught and turbulent nights.
All right, Mike. First impressions. You want me to go or you want to go?
I can go. It's so I don't know if I've seen this one before. Some of the stuff looked a little bit familiar, but I just recently rewatched it, and it was it's a pretty dark movie, Matt. I don't know if this was the best pandemic movie for us to choose, but it was good, but it's dark.
Sorry, Mike. You know how I like my darkness. And it was May the 4th be with you this week. And I am, a Lord Sith Master. A Sith Lord Master. There we go. That'll work. Whatever. One of those things.
With the Sith, isn't there only
there's a master
the
and apprentice.
The That's rule of 2. Right?
Yeah, the rule of 2. So, Mike, you are my apprentice.
I am. I don't think I'll ever be up to your level.
No, especially not in the wars. Hell no. Movies, I think you probably surpassed me in movies just based on how many you've seen. But I didn't pick it because it's super dark. I just wanted a unique movie that not a lot of people knew about, that Martin Scorsese did, that kind of went under the wayside. This is one of his only movies not nominated for Academy Awards. So clearly the critics and the Academy didn't like this movie either. It is also one of the very, very last movies, second to Sleepy Hollow, to ever be released on Laserdisc.
Oh, man. All right.
How cool is
that? There we go, Matt. That's awesome.
So there's a little trivia for you. But this movie's really dark. It's really mind-bending. It makes you think a lot. Makes you think about others. Nick Cage, I think, does a fantastic job. This was classic 90s Nick Cage. A lot of the actors in here are classic 90s actors that did great. I mean, Patricia Arquette, another one. You hardly see her anymore except for she's in that one TV show on HBO, or is it Cinemax or Star? It's one of the premium channels. It's supposed to be really, really good, but she kind of fell off the face of the earth after the 90s. Ving Rhames is awesome. Tom Sizemore, I think, is one of my favorites, but Tom Sizemore did his typical character of being a crazy asshole jerk, but he does great. So John Goodman, I think he was a lot of fun in this movie. So I don't know. It's dark. It's messed up. It's definitely not Scorsese's best, in my opinion, but it is a unique Scorsese film on an interesting look at paramedics and EMTs in New York City, Manhattan specifically.
Yeah, man. It really was an interesting look. It's just all the stuff that happens in this 3 days. You're like, man, wow.
And that's just the night shifts in the 3 days.
Yeah.
The graveyards.
Yeah. It was an interesting take for sure.
Yeah, it's just there's little tidbits in it that I like that kind of take me back to Tom Sizemore's ambulance. The old POS one.
Yeah.
Did you notice they kept moving what would be considered the automatic stick on it?
Yeah.
It was a 3 on a tree, man.
It was a 3 on a tree?
It was a 3 on a tree. That's what they were doing. They were shifting gears. That's how old that truck was. It was amazing. I was like, just little nuances like that are so cool. Because, I mean, the white truck before we moved it, it was a 3 on the tree.
Yeah, I remember.
That was unique, driving a 3 on the tree. So, for you millennials, that is a stick shift that is not on the floor. It is on the steering column. Oh. Anywho.
Yeah, that's okay, man. They don't have to worry about that. We got the automatics, and then we got the smart cars. You're not even gonna have to drive soon. Don't worry about it.
Or those new ones. Was it the Nissans? You rented one that one time with the no shifting transmissions.
Oh, CVT.
Yeah, F those, man. Those are ruthless. I don't like those.
No, man, they don't. They apparently don't last that long, and they're extremely expensive to fix.
Yeah, I believe it. I don't want to give up my driving privileges. I like driving. I like being able to go places where a controlled vehicle would not go, like the mountains. So I did a little bit of that this past week. It was fun. It was good times. I went up to Hassayampa Lake and Senator Highway in the Bradshaw Mountains, and it was cool. I haven't done some serious four-wheeling in a while. It wasn't serious. I mean, it was just two-wheeled. It was dirt roads, but it was fun. It was fun to get out and into the mountains, deep into the mountains.
Yeah, I think it's just fun to get out these days, man. Like it's pretty exciting to go in the dog walk these days. I'm like, woo.
Yeah. How is your pup?
He's good.
Adjusting well?
Yeah, he's adjusting well. He sleeps a lot now and just kind of ignores the baby most of the time.
What about you? Does he ignore you? Is he like, why are you here? Shouldn't you be gone now?
No. But in occasional times I've left and come back like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, he's like, oh my God, I've never seen you before.
That's awesome. So you have short-term memory on your pup, huh? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, all right, Mike, since we already got your question out of the way, I think I'm going to go ahead and ask my question, the most important question of the Real Film Nerds podcast. Mike, how does Martin Scorsese's Bringing Out the Dead relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Thanks for asking, Matt. I thought I might have a tougher time with this because it's kind of a smaller cast. But, I forgot about Ving Rhames is in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as a character named Charlie 27.
Nice. Yeah, no, I figured this one probably wasn't going to be too tough because there's a lot of big names in here, and at least one of them had to have been in something. I'm shocked. Well, Nick Cage, he was in Ghost Rider, but that was before MCU. So
yeah, I wouldn't have counted that because I didn't think it was part of the MCU. It's kind of a one-off.
Well, there was actually two of them, and the first one was way better than the second one. The second one was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Superhero movies for sure. It was just awful. I do not recommend that second Ghost Rider movie. The first one was cheesy and campy and all that, but it was at least fun. Second one was just weird. I hated it. I thought it was awful, especially such a cool character. Ghost Rider is one of my favorites, man. He's up there next to Deadpool and Wolverine for me as Ghost Rider.
Yeah, no, they did things weird. Whatever.
All right, Mike, so you know what that means. We are into spoilers.
Yes, we are.
Go ahead. Spoil away, sir.
So with this movie, I really enjoyed some of the shots of them in the ambulance, driving around. There's a couple like kind of montagey, like quick edit things that I really liked that they did, just to show kind of the chaos of the ambulance. It's a little crazy that there's a couple things that happen in this movie that you're like, why is he still working and how does he still have a job? Because there's like the accident and he just kind of leaves. Then there's like,
I think they explain that a little bit, not to interrupt, but I think they explain that a little bit because he tries to quit. He tries to get fired. He like literally tries to leave 3 or 4 different ways, and they won't let him. Like, they won't fire him. They won't let him quit because they need him to work so bad. So I think with the accident stuff, they're just kind of like, oh, well, okay.
Well, yeah, you're right. They said he needed to fill out his report about the accident, and then he'll fire him tomorrow, but he needs him on the shift, this next shift. And I was like, wow, all right. And then like just some of the things where they're drinking or they're just like trying to get some sleep. Like it's just like, wow. What a weird. And then the the recurring character, was it Mr. O? Is that what they called him? Mr. O, the really stinky guy?
Oh yeah. Mark Anthony's character, Mr. O. No, Mr. O was the dude in the wheelchair. Yeah. The old homeless guy that kept getting shit faced and like shitting himself. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're like, oh man, already? Like they had to go get him like 3 nights in a row. Like they get him like every day. I'm like, what is this? Like, who's paying for all this? Like, it's so
Taxpayers,
weird.
Man. That's the bad part. Taxpayers, especially for him because he's a homeless person.
And then, the crazy guy, the Mark Anthony. I liked seeing him because he was like, what a weird character for him to play from some of his other characters. I've seen some of his movies. Like, I'm a huge fan of Man on Fire, and talk about a totally different role this movie is.
Oh yeah, but he nailed it. He did a really good job. It was very strange seeing Mark Anthony running around with dreadlocks and being literally just like a dude with clearly brain damage, you know? I mean, it was wild. It was a lot of fun character wise. And then, and then how he has a tragic, sad ending. He lived, but ugh.
I like the way that the movie goes through, the few days with Nick Cage, but he's with a different person every time. So it's kind of like a different feel for each time he's with the different partner, I guess, for the ambulance or the EMT, you know, like he was always.
And that's the thing. They never say he's a paramedic, but they say he is in the description. They never say he's a paramedic in the film. So he could be an EMT too, but the difference is basically how many drugs you get to use. They're both, you got to have an EMT and a paramedic or 2 paramedics for every ambulance. You know all that stuff, Mike. But the other thing I found unique with the different co-paramedics or different, guy that he's rolling with every night is that they change the dispatchers every single night too, and they have different dispatchers. So like with the Vin Rames character, it's like this clearly, African-American woman that he's hitting on. And he keeps answering and, like all sweet and, supple and stuff. It's hilarious. And then the night with John Goodman, it's like the dude's almost like a talk show host. He's like, and we got coming up, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. O. It was unique how they changed not only just the drivers, they also were changing the dispatchers. And that's probably how it really is, especially in New York.
Oh, yeah. I imagine it would be changing around a little bit. And then one of the dispatchers was Martin Scorsese. I think it's the one with Sizemore. I think
Scorsese did the Sizemore one, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you can hear him.
Yeah, you recognize his voice. Yeah,
you recognize his voice.
Yeah. Well, all right, Mike. So what else you got to add about Bringing Out the Dead?
Matt, what did you think about some of the, I don't know if I'd call them dream sequences or hallucinations, or when Nick Cage's character is like seeing, I guess the main ghost or person that's bothering him. I think the character's name's Rose.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you think of some of those sequences? I thought they were really well done with like how they were put in the same position in the same as the other character.
Well, and especially like it ramps up. Like it starts out with Nick Cage. I mean, he's clearly exhausted in the first night, but not as screwed up as the last night. I mean, all the stuff he went through. And the first night he sees Rose occasionally, like here and there, and you just see her once, and it's more of like flashes. The second night it starts ramping up, and then by the third night with Tom Sizemore, like they drive by a group of people, and Rose is every single person. And how they did that, especially in the 90s, was fantastic. They really, clearly they probably shot her in each different position and just laid it over top each other, but it was just very well done. And it doesn't look like Rose in that sequence or most of the sequences until she turns her face towards the camera.
Yeah, no, that stuff was cool. I mean, it definitely gave you this creepy kind of, it did its intention of showing kind of how Nick Cage is really bothered by some of the things he's seen. And it's just like, man, the delivery of the twins or whatever, or with Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, that was so brutal. Like, I don't know if I should give that away, Matt, but just the way that the outcome of that scene is, it was like one character's really high, like really positive, and the other one's really low because of stuff that happened.
Because the end result, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't have to give away. And Mike, I mean, not to make it obvious, but clearly you have a completely different perspective on that scene now, being a father yourself. So versus me, I'm like, yeah, that sucked, especially for Nick Cage, working his ass off, doing everything he can, ending up with a bad result. It was interesting, but it shows you the dichotomy of the characters as well, because Ving Rhames, even before that scene, he didn't hate his job. He didn't love it, but he didn't hate it. Nick Cage clearly is miserable.
Yeah. He's on the verge of having a breakdown. He's stressed. He's seen so many things. It's like every time he has to go to a different call, it's like, oh no, what am I going to see this time? It's kind of like that dread. Like,
oh yeah. Yeah. One that I wasn't a super huge fan of was the Patricia Arquette family story, and how it kind of kept weaving itself back and forth throughout Nick Cage's story and his life. I didn't like it. I didn't understand it. There was parts of it, and I understand why it's in there, because he starts replacing her with like his ex-wife, because, clearly he's fairly recently divorced or separated, or maybe he wasn't married. I think he was married though. I think he talks about
he
being
said
married.
he was married. Yeah, he did.
And so he starts looking for someone to comfort him, and Patricia Arquette starts becoming that person. So I understand that, but I wasn't a huge fan of the whole story around it, how he kept randomly bumping into her every single time he was at the hospital, how they kept going back to her father needing to be revived, and it was just, it seemed like it was not needed.
The part, I mean, I could see that, Matt, but I thought it was okay. The part that I thought was like kind of maybe too much was the part where they go to like the drug house, like the drug place, and that happens and stuff. I feel like that might have been too much. Like, it could have been that she went there and all that stuff, but the Nick Cage going in and meeting the people and then having that kind of weird moment a little later on the next night. I don't know. It seemed, I guess there's so many coincidences. I mean, I guess it's supposed to show you how small New York is, small but big. I don't know.
Well, and clearly him and his crew of guys only work that area, and they only work out of that one hospital. Like, they never went to another hospital. So I think it was a little bit of that, but I think the drug scene was specifically to show you how hardcore Nick Cage really was being haunted, because when he takes whatever another big time character actor, I'm absolutely spacing on his name. He was in The Walking Dead, and he's been in a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Cliff
He was
Curtis.
just he was in the latest Rock or Fast and Furious movie that wasn't Fast and Furious. He was the Rock's
Hobbs and
brother.
Shaw. Yeah.
Yeah, Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah.
It's interesting too, because Cliff Curtis, I believe, is a Kiwi, And I've seen him play roles as Mexicans. I've seen him play roles as Puerto Ricans. I've seen him play. He was a terrorist, I think, once. Like he played a Middle Eastern guy. I mean, he just does it all. But he's a character actor. That's kind of what he does. But it's kind of sad because his skin color and all. Anyways, if you ever hear him actually talk, he talks like Kiwi. He talks Australian, like New Zealander. I mean, granted they're not the same, but he has that accent that a Australian New Zealander has,
like Taika Waititi.
Right, exactly. And it's just he's so good at what he does. But that whole scene when he gives him a pill, I think it was probably MDMA, but I'm not 100% sure. It was something, and he passes out.
Well, it wouldn't have been MDMA because that he went to sleep and it was supposed to make you go to sleep. I don't think that would make you go to sleep.
Oh, you don't think Molly would put you to sleep? Maybe not. I don't know.
No, it's supposed to hype you up, and actually sometimes you overheat and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, well, anyway. I know about that stuff. It gets you going on that, but I didn't know it woke you up. I didn't know it was an upper. I thought it was more of. Anyways, it's a party drug. We'll just go with that.
All right.
When he passes out and he's dreaming now, it's not a hallucination. It's not just Rose he's seeing. It's like everyone, and there's like hundreds of people, and I think it's trying to show you that he's struggling with all of these people that he could not rescue, that he could not save. Not just Rose. Rose is just the embodiment of all of them.
Oh, all right. I guess that's probably the intended interpretation, Matt. I don't know. I felt like maybe the scene was a little bit out of place. Except for, I guess, that part.
It was definitely too long. Definitely too long about him meeting, Cliff Curtis's woman, and then meeting the bodyguard guy, and then him going in there and trying to get Patricia Arquette's character and all. It definitely was probably 15 minutes too long. You could have done that whole scene in probably 5 or 6. Just have that dream sequence and all that stuff and just wham. So, anyways. Well, all right, Mike, let's do it. I'm going to have you go first since either you haven't seen this in forever or this is your first time. You can't figure out which. Because I've seen this movie several times. Not a lot, but more than once. More than twice. Mike, how many reels do you give Bringing Out the Dead?
I'm going to give this 3 reels. And I know it's a little bit harsh, Matt, but it's really well-made film. It's just, I didn't like it as much. I think I didn't like the story as much as I normally would on something from this caliber of a person, Martin Scorsese,
a filmmaker,
legend.
Yeah. Well, it's all good, Mike. It's all good. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, right?
Yeah.
So
some of us have 2.
Yeah. Well, that's why I got to double down on the toilet paper. Everybody's saying, "Oh, it's the Corona." No. It's just because I have 2 assholes.
Nice.
All right, Mike. Well, for the first time in 5 weeks, I counted 5 weeks.
Ugh, terrible.
We do not agree on a rating.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes.
I am not as much of a dick as you are. Again, I don't think this is Martin Scorsese's work, but I do enjoy this film. I think it is a good film. You definitely have to be in the right frame of mind to watch it. You don't want to be on a downslide because it just makes things worse. So maybe not watching it right now if you're having a hard time with the Rona. But I give Bringing Out the Dead 4 out of 5 reels.
Nice, man. Nice.
All right, Mike. So that brings us to what movie are we going to watch and discuss next week? So I picked Bringing Out the Dead this week. Mike, it is your turn. Be gentle, be kind, pick something, we both maybe will enjoy, might be happy for our listeners. I don't know. Up to you, Mike. Up to you. Bring it on.
All right. So, Matt, I was thinking, there's been all this stuff with graduation, like posting on Facebook, your graduation pictures, and it's all these things on Matt. I don't know if you watch the John Krasinski channel, but some good news.
Oh, dude, I love it. I love some good news. I love it.
Anyway.
The prom one was fantastic.
Yeah, they just did a graduation episode, and we're going to do our graduation episode, Matt. And in honor of that, we are going to watch American Pie.
Now, are we going to watch the original or are we going to watch all of them? I think because the original is so near and dear to our hearts. Have we talked about it on the pod? I don't know if we talked about it on the pod. Mike and I graduated high school in the year 2000. American Pie came out in 99?
Yes, 99.
Summer 99? Or was it... summer 99.
I think it was summer 99, yeah.
So going into our senior year of high school, we watched American Pie in the theater. We probably saw it together, most likely. You were probably working at the theater, and I probably snuck in and watched it in the booth with you.
That never happened.
Never. Anyways, so it is very near and dear to both of our hearts because a lot of the things that happened in that movie, minus a few, we did in some capacity. Statute of limitations, I'm going to stick with that on what we did or did not do, but it's very near and dear to our hearts. And yes, it's a cheesy romantic comedy, teeny bopper movie, but I mean, there's a lot of those out there that people love. Mike, name another one from the 80s that people from the 80s love. There's like Pretty in Pink. And
oh yeah, like 16 Candles.
16 Candles and
all the Molly Ringwald movies.
Yeah. So this is kind of our generation's
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
There's yeah.
So this is kind of our generation, our graduating classes call. And it really was special to us because they graduated in the movie that year. We graduated. It was just so. I think it might be a little bit of a long podcast. I think we might cry a little bit. Oh, I might. I mean, that's just because I'm a pussy. But Mike, wonderful choice. I'm looking forward to it. Question, I don't know if you looked it up or not. Where can our listeners view it if they want to watch it with us?
I know for sure right now it's on HBO. You can watch, I believe, all of the American Pies currently. So American Pie 1, 2, the wedding one. I think they're only missing one. There's like 5. There's 5 with the original cast, but one of them I don't think is on HBO. But like Reunion, I think, which was the very last one that they did, which was like their high school reunion.
I don't know if I ever saw that one. I remember seeing the wedding one.
Yeah, there's like Wedding and then American Pie 2. So there's that on there and then maybe one more. Anyway, I didn't look at all the streaming services. They might be able to stream it on other platforms as well, Matt.
But you cut it on HBO. So if you need to borrow Mike's HBO login, go ahead and email him at mike@realfilmnerds.com and he'll just send it right over so you can watch the movie with us. And don't forget the shitty selfies as well. He loves those shitty selfies. The shittier, the better.
Yes, and for those who haven't heard about the shitty selfies on some of our other pods, I'm not sure which actual number that is. We talked about just stupid things, and I talked about the shitty selfie that some people that I knew did for quite a while, like over a year. They did shitty selfies all over the place, and like a lot of times, like the biggest like attaboy was for like when you were in porta pots. So like,
oh Lord, Mike, Lord. No, I will only ever drop a deuce in a porta john if it's a true emergency. I'd rather crap outside and let everybody see it.
Yeah, so only if the turtle head's poking out.
Only if the turtle head is halfway down my leg. I got you laughing real good. I know you're away from the mic, but
yeah, he did, but I was away from the mic.
Well, all right, Mike. So next week, American Pie. Oh, what's the best shitty selfie someone sent to you? Just from the podcast.
I'd have to go look.
Really, that many? Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe we have more listeners than I thought. Holy crap.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah, that one in the church was terrible.
The one in the church. Please tell me it was in a church bathroom and wasn't like on the altar or something, because that's another level of horribleness.
No, I'm just kidding. I was just trying to keep going with that holy crap thing. Anyway,
Oh, dude, you're doing great. You're doing great, Mike. I love it. I love it when you get going and you riff. It's fun.
Yeah. So,
American Pie.
That's going to be American Pie is going to be a fun one for us to review. We are fans, so it'll be fun. I'm gonna try and read about all the trivia for the movie and stuff, and then I might even bring up something serious about it.
Uh-oh.
But we'll talk about it next week.
Awesome. Episode 170 next week. American Pie.
Yes. Yeah. We should have flipped around the numbers or something. We should have just said this one's 170 and then next week's 169, dude.
And well, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. So I think I'm good. I got to figure out what other movie I'm going to watch for radio. Although Lisa totally forgot that I was doing 2 movies this week. And she's like, all right. And she started ending my radio interview. And I was like, hold on, I got one more. She's like, you got 30 seconds. So I did Bringing Out the Dead in like 30 seconds. So maybe I'll just stick with one just to be nice. But the week before, man, she had me talk for like ever because I guess, I don't know what it was. My interview was like twice as long as it ever is. So anywho, I'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, I don't know. There's a new Netflix movie that we should likely do.
But we should do that with us. I'm mostly doing stuff that we probably won't get to, or if we do, it'll be down the road.
Okay, all right.
So like I did Zootopia and Bringing Out the Dead. So you will hear those at once we're done with this podcast here in the next couple seconds or minutes. So anyways, I'm good, Mike. Mike, do your thing.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. And, we happen to record this on Cinco de Mayo, so hopefully you had a good time. And catch us on our next pod, and make sure to follow us on all the socials.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now, go out and catch a movie.
Good morning, Magic 99.1. Who's this?
May the 4th be with you.
Oh, it's got to be a film nerd. Good morning, Matt Hinshaw.
Of course it's a film nerd. It's the film nerd.
The film nerd. How you doing there, Maddie?
I'm hanging in there. How are you doing, Lisa?
I'm doing good. I knew you would be celebrating May the 4th be with you. I prefer to celebrate Cinco de Mayo Eve myself.
Cinco de Mayo Eve. That's nice. I like that. I'm more of a Revenge of the 5th kind of person.
Oh, gotcha.
Personally, in my world, there's a lot of controversy around May the 4th. Some dude made it up several years ago, and I think this is the first year Disney's really embracing it.
Yeah.
But I personally have always considered May 25th the real Star Wars Day, because that's the day Star Wars came out in the theaters.
Oh, interesting.
So,
yeah, okay.
But anyways, if Disney's going to embrace it, I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to wear Star Wars shirts today while I'm working. I painted up my tripod like a lightsaber. It's going to be amazing.
I love it. I love your spirit, Matt. And I heard that Disney Plus has every single Star Wars movie streaming available today, which is awesome.
Yeah, they dropped the latest one, Rise of Skywalker, on Disney Plus.
Yeah, very, very cool. I love it. So what movie are we talking about this morning?
Well, I'll start out with one I saw that I was kind of shamed into seeing, and I probably should have seen it by now, but I didn't. And it is also streaming on Disney Plus. It is a Disney animated film called Zootopia.
Zootopia. How bad could it be?
It's not bad at all. It's very good.
Oh,
it's a lot of fun.
I bet.
I feel terrible that I'm just now seeing it 4 years after it came out. But
what was your apprehension? Tell me.
It's
You're too cool?
It's hard to go see. Yeah, pretty much.
Too
pretty
cool
much.
for
There's
Zootopia.
No Star Wars. There's no lightsabers. There's no Death Star.
Gotcha. Very good.
No, when you're a single old man, it's hard to go watch kids' movies in the theater. You get some bad looks.
Yeah, I bet
They're
you
like,
do.
what's that guy doing?
I bet you
why
do.
is he sitting in the corner by himself? What's up with that?
So you did stream it then? You streamed it on Netflix?
Yes, I watched it on Disney Plus.
Oh, Disney Plus,
and
yes.
It was very good. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I don't want to call it like adult humor, but the humor that kids don't understand was phenomenal throughout this movie, especially the scenes at the DMV.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
We love that kind of humor because we're like, we've got one on you. We know what they're talking about.
Exactly. The parents laugh and the kids go, "Why is that funny?"
Mm-hmm.
But that's wonderful. So I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it basically takes place in a city where animals all live together and the predators are turning on the prey, and they've lived in harmony for years and no one can figure out why. And it takes a rookie bunny cop and a cynical con artist fox team up to try and solve the mystery.
It sounds adorable. I think I will watch this. Yes. How many reels are you giving it?
I highly recommend it. I give it 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 reels for a Disney animation. That's pretty darn good.
Yep. Real good. And I thought it was Pixar. It is not Pixar. It is, just as you said, a Disney animation.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I love it. I love your reviews. Keep it up. If people want to catch your podcast, tell them.
I got one more.
Oh, you've got another movie? Okay.
Yeah. I've been doing 2 a week. I've been trying to be good.
Can you review it in 30 seconds or less? Let's see. Go.
I'll make it real quick.
Okay.
Second one for the podcast, Bringing Out the Dead, 1999, Martin Scorsese, not real well known, about a paramedic in New York. He's being haunted by the ghosts of the people that he's not been able to solve. Very dark, very adult, complete opposite of Zootopia.
Yeah.
Really enjoy it. Highly recommend it. Martin Scorsese has done better work. That's probably why this has kind of gone underground. Stars Nick Cage, Patricia Arquette, John Goodman. Amazing cast.
Yes.
Really dark. Really makes you think. Highly recommend it if you like those kind of things.
How many reels?
Follow up, 4 out of 5 as well.
4 out of 5 as well. What's the name of that one again?
Bringing Out the Dead.
Bringing Out the Dead. I'll take your recommendation, Matt Hinshaw. Always a pleasure chatting with you on the radio, my friend.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.